okay? Because this is a season of building, right? And a lot of people, that I know outside of our mastermind get the force of average effect during this time. Okay, people who don't have guidance, people who don't have actual systems. Okay, these people are going to have the force of average effect. Okay, it's in the middle of the year, right? We're not in Q4, we're not in Q1, right? We're in the middle. It comes for everybody, and you got to realize that we're surrounded by a group of hardworking individuals that'll keep the force of average away from yourself. Okay, so let's make sure that we are not, feeling that force of average, because I'm telling you, in Q2 is when it's strongest. Okay, now this is the season of building, like I mentioned, guys. Okay, we want to have all of our systems in place, whether you're brand new here and it's your first day today, okay, or you're already doing like 60 to 100K a month like Dan. Okay, you have to focus on genuinely having consistency in your day-to-day endeavors. Okay, you can't afford to just not work one day. Okay, you could afford to work less one day, but still get a little bit done. You'll be surprised your little progress each and every day will compound to where you're rocking and rolling properly in Q4, which is pretty damn cool. Okay, the goal here is not only to build us a proper infrastructure in this season, but to really prepare for the wild season. That is, as we know, Q3 into Q4. Okay, it gets pretty wild at that time. And imagine if you're doing phenomenally well now, okay, what will happen during those times? That's when you really solidify your business. That's when your business turns into a long-term asset, right, during seasons and during those seasons. So I want to make sure everyone knows that we are in the season of building right now. This is the season of hard work. And oftentimes, guys, when you're working the hardest, it's usually when you're seeing the least fruit of your labor. And then oftentimes when you're putting in the work and you start to see consistency thereafter, you're not doing so much as you were in the building season, and you start to see even more reward. It's what I noticed in my life, right? Oftentimes when I work the hardest, I see the least. And when I go ahead and build up properly, I'm able to go ahead and see the fruits of my labor thereafter because of what I did previously, right? So your today will always dictate your tomorrow. And I want to make sure everyone realizes that right now is when you should be focusing even more, okay, more than in Q4, because Q4, we're just kind of running the ads up and scaling. This is when we're optimizing. We're building out our journey and our consistency and our fluency, ladies and gents. So, and also, little shout out to my man, Jean Hermy in the house. I'm sure you guys know Jean. He's an absolute BSF stud. This man started out here at BSF. He was actually following one of my 1 million follower IG accounts. I have a big meme page that I've been running for several years. I think he found out about BSF through that meme page that ended up joining Beyond Six Figures and is now a yearly multi-million-dollar brand owner. Okay, this man does millions of dollars a year. And it all started on this very mastermind that you're looking at me on right now, right here. Jean, shout out to you, brother. Good to see you here, brother. And it's pretty cool to see some of our OGs rocking and rolling.
It brings me a lot of nostalgia, like thinking about, like this is where everything started, like literally on Sundays. Like this is crazy to think about.
It's so good to hear you, man. And Jean, while we got you here, brother, man, we have some new people on today. We got some people hitting their first 1K days, their first 60K months, whatever. Jean, why don't you give us some words of wisdom and feedback for someone like yourself, who's literally a multi-million-dollar brand owner, right, yearly. Walk us through like what it took to get there, the grind, and everything in between, my friend, because it's great to see you back on. I would love to have you share some insights based on where you started from and where you are now, and kind of what the hell happened in between as to how you got there.
Man, honestly, it's just a lot of consistency. And my biggest advice for everyone in here, even if you're doing $500 per day, $1,000 per day, it will not take more effort to make 10K or 20K per day. It will take just the same amount of work, just multiplied a little bit more. If you stay consistent, the way you are, you will get to those days faster than you can. And when it happens, you don't even it happens so fast that you don't even think it's real. So for me, one thing that helped me going, because obviously as business owners, there can be good days, good months, bad months. What keeps me going, and I think that can help a lot of you, is to kind of figure out what is a win for you. For me, I don't even look as a win. I don't even look at wins as in, oh, I hit 300K, 400K this month. I look at, for me, the way I classify my wins, did I do everything I was supposed to do? Okay, I was supposed to launch these ads, source these creatives, launch these influencer ads, launch these campaigns. Did I do what I was supposed to do? Everything else that happens is out of my control. If you do, like I learned that from the book Atomic Habits, it's literally to put in your inputs and wait for the outputs. If you want to lose weight, you go to the gym. You're not gonna do it on day one, right? But do you go to the gym? Do you eat the way you're supposed to do? Do you put in the work? If you do, eventually time will take care of it. And this is how I went about business, and it transformed my business. Like I've had the most consistency I've had to the point now I'm confident saying like I think this year we're on pace to hit 3 to 5 million in revenue. Like
Say
that's
that again a little
conservative.
bit. Say it again for a little bit louder for the people in the back, John.
Like conservatively, like I think we're gonna do 3 to 5 million. And if we can, because like right now, it's not even the best season for us. It's Q2. The best
The
season is
off season.
Q4. Yeah, so it's the off season, and our off season is already better than our Q4, which is kind of insane to think about. And all it's been is literally like doing what I said. Did I do what I was supposed to do? Literally. And also never stop learning. The learning goes way beyond just this Sunday, guys. You know, like go on YouTube, like go through the library, like keep learning things. If you watch a video 3 or 4 times, you're gonna pick up on something you did it the first 3 times, right? So never stop learning and never get complacent. It happened to me. I did pay the price. I do not want that to happen to you. Stay hungry. You know the level of hunger all you guys have right now that you're first starting. Once you hit your first million, it may disappear. Like find a way to channel it back, because that's when it's gonna get you to like the 3, 4, 5 million like mark. Because for me, my goal now is to grow my brand to like 8 figures a year and eventually exit. So that's my goal for now, and I know what I have to do. But for you, focus on getting your first 1,000 per day, right? Once you hit your first 1,000 per day, now you're open, like you're gonna understand. All you need is to do 10x more volume than that to get to 10,000, you know? And then you do 20x to get to 20,000, and it's really not that hard. It's literally, first of all, just I think it's a lot about confidence. Like, especially when you're launching the ads, when you're creating your creatives, it's all about confidence. And once you have your confidence and you have your consistency, like that's all you need. Please, if you haven't bought this book, I get no money out of recommending this book. Buy Atomic Habits and go read that book, guys. Go read it. Like it changed my life forever. Like it's insane.
Your brand is not some 2-week pump a dump like half these clowns we see in the industry. We built an
Since
asset here,
2020,
my
bro.
friend.
Since 2020. Like October 2020, same product. Like same product.
And you guys know I say we don't build 2-week pump and dumps. We build actual assets. And this is a prime example of that. And John, doing $3 to $5 million a year is pretty cool stuff, right? When you first started, that was like the end goal. Remember when we first started off on our first day in the game, we just wanted to make our first 100K. We just wanted our first
Yes.
million. Then we'd be happy, right? So we
Yeah.
thought.
It never works that way. And now because now I see people doing more, because the more you do, the more you start getting exposed to people that do more than you. And I see people doing 1 million. Actually, another one of your students, I don't know if you remember Gaurav,
Months, yeah.
like Gaurav, he did it on his first million per month. Like recently, kid is 21. I'm like,
He started right here at BSF too.
yeah, like that's where I met him. I met him through the mastermind.
John, know what's crazy? Like no one really knows. A lot of majority of the big heads started off here at BSF.
They don't know. It's a lot. I
It's
know a few others too.
yeah,
My boy Ari. It's a lot of us.
it's crazy. It really is. And I'm honored to, be a lot like that Kindle, but this is why we put this together, is to see guys like you turn into absolute behemoths, my friend. John, you're doing some crazy stuff in the world, man. You are the 0.01 look at your age. Okay. Look how much money you're making and look at the year you're doing it. You're the 0.001%, right? And if you go ahead and put that percentage into BSF terms, turns into somewhat of a commonality, and you're an absolute stud for making it happen. And we appreciate you hopping on and walking our new guys, and even the people who are doing 100K plus months, millions, whatever, exactly what worked for you. And I totally think what you said was huge, guys. Listen to what he said. Take action, okay? Consistent action. Don't judge yourself based on your sales. Judge yourself based on what you got done that day, John. I think that was a lot of gold, my friend.
Dude, that kept me going so hard, especially during like when my ads were not working. But it's not really the ads weren't working. I just like lost confidence, right? And it can be a very mental game in terms of like if you launch something it's not working. And I'm like, dude, I'm like beating myself over things I can't control. Clearly, if the ads weren't working, they sucked, right? So I got myself out of that, and I'm like, okay, that means I need more volume. And this is what I did. I literally sat and I'm pretty decent at like video editing. Those are like one of the few skills you learn in ecom. You learn so many skills: website design, copywriting, video editing. And for me, around that time, even when I started, all I had was time, right? And like before, it was like I had time, no money. Now I have time plus money. So it's kind of like different playing with two different ball games. I'm like, okay, I have a lot of time. I literally sat down, bro, and I literally like did 30 variations of like the video, right? Like, and it was literally like just changing like 3 seconds, right? Did like 30 variations, like landed, and that's what sparked TikTok ads for me. Now my brain, like I thought my brain could not work on TikTok ads. I was wrong. I was just not doing enough volumes, and that was really just from reading that book. And that's why, like, when all the big guys say, keep your mind sharp, because I got to the point where I was so complacent, I just do my work and I hop on TikTok and just scroll for the rest of the day. And I was not feeding my mind the right tools, right? I was not feeding my mind the right information. It was like, this is why when people tell you, like, limit your social media screen time and replace that with some, like, it's like your body, right? What do you feed your body is what your body will look like. It's the same as your mind, right? And once I started reading more, and I would do this thing where, like, I would pay the extra 99 cents for the audio version, and I would listen to the audio while reading the book. So I was just like consuming the content so much faster, and I would reread a book twice, right? So and I would do that, and literally as soon as I finish reading, I go and apply. Before, I would just finish reading, feel pumped, and then go about my day, right? And I stopped doing that. I was like, okay, after I read now, I have to apply what I read, which is what I did. And the guy literally said, tiny changes like will create like crazy results. And it was little changes one by one, right? Like being more intentional with my to-do list rather than filling it up with a bunch of nonsense. I look at what will actually like change the level, what will actually make a difference in the business. Focus on that. I had this bad habit of trying to do everything that's easy on the list and the hardest thing last. No, now I will not touch the easiest thing until I'm done with the hardest task, even if it takes 2 seconds. And it's little habits like that that made the crazy like changes where I'm like, okay, now I'm in a position where I feel like, okay, I can technically go and build this into a gigantic empire. It also made me realize how much like growth my brand has. I've seen so many competitors come and go, and they don't last 2 weeks. They could rip off our pages, creatives, whatever they do. They don't last more than 2 weeks because I got to the point where like I figured out even a better version of myself, because the entry point now is the like a lesser version of the product that gives a lot of headaches. I'm at a point where I'm like, dude, there's so much growth because I'm in the fitness industry. It's ever growing. There's always gonna be, and I sell to like well, women 25 plus. There's always going to be a new woman that turns 25 every day to sell to. You have a product. A lot of times we think the product is dying out. It's really our offer and creative. Most people have been selling the same products over and over. Gillette's been selling razors for longer than I've been alive, right? They still sell, right? So it's all about believing in yourself and creating a product that is so good that like people want to keep buying and focus on customer experience. One thing I learned about the game as well is customer lifetime value. If you have a fitness product, start looking into digital product, guys. Digital products are insane. Like you have a fitness product, you create workout videos and you sell them to them after, after they buy. Like you never want to sell like a fully complete product because what if like you sell the product, why not sell complementary stuff with the product? And what's easier to sell than digital products depending on the product you're selling, right? So all these little things. So I'll give the mic back to you. I could go on for days and days and days, but
John, it's been
it's
amazing,
awesome.
brother. And your value is so impeccable because you are on the same path as everyone here, rocking and rolling. That's incredible, man. And just like, it's pretty funny because it's like Rich said, it's because you're in the uni videos, right? So seeing you in the uni videos to where you are now, I'm emotional over, like, this is why we built this freaking thing called Beyond Six Figures. Like, this is literally why, guys. This is why he's literally beyond six figures, and it's just
Literally.
emotional, man. Honest to God, like.
Oh man, thank you, brother. Appreciate y'all guys. Yo, put all your attention to like what he's saying. Sometimes I know I can be in Zooms, like I turn off my camera, I mute myself, and I'm doing a million different things. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, you owe it to your future self. There's nothing worse as like being in the near and asking yourself, what if? There is no worse feeling than a what if question. Right now, you have the opportunity to really make a difference in your life. And all it's going to take is a little bit more patience, a little bit more trust in yourself, and some actions. And that's it.
Hey, well, guys, round of applause for John down below. He's absolutely the GOAT. My man spits value like he's a dragon. Great stuff, man. And, John, great to see you where you are today, my friend. And I look forward to seeing you at $100 million a year very, very soon.